Hi everyone, welcome to part 4 of Python Pandas. Today we are going to discuss data frames in greater detail. In previous topic we have learned how to create a data frames, and here we are going to see powerful library of Python Pandas to access data frames, slice it down, and how to manipulate data structure. So let's see the content first. So first of all, we are going to see how to select and access the data. This will be a focus point of our today's topic, and here we are going to see how to select a column, how to select multiple columns, followed by how to select rows and columns in a combination, and how to extract or how to print slices from our data frames. And then we are going to see how to manipulate our elements stored in data frames. Then we will conclude our topic by some questions. Okay, so let's get started. So how to select elements in a data frame. So first of all, in this context we are going to see how to select columns. First of all, we have to specify name of the data frame object, and then it will be followed by the column name. Now you can see a bracket here, and in the bracket I have specified the name. If it is a string, then you have to obviously enclose it in a quotes, but if it is a numeric, you can simply specify it like 1 2 3. Here is an example. You can see I have created a data frame from the dictionary. Okay, so pd.dataframe data is our dictionary which contains a name as a column and age as another column, and it will create a data frame. And I have in this line I have selected a column df name. Okay, the second syntax is also very easy, in which we have specified a database object name followed by dot, and then we have specified a column. For example, obj.name. Here you can see df.name prints all the name. So either this way or this way, you can choose your options. Okay, so let us see how to create a data frame. Okay, I will be using nested dictionary to create a data frame. Okay, so that it is usable throughout the tutorial. And now I'm going to create a data frame. df1 is equals to pd.dataframe d1. Okay, so I'm going to transpose it, so that I must be getting name of the country as a row index or initials, chn, indi, or usa, idn, bra should be your label for the rows, and country, pop, area, gdp, and the continent are your column name. Okay, so let us try to print this data frame. So now you can see my database is already created. Now I'm going to select a column from this. Remember, case is very important. For example, if I do not follow the proper case, this will return an error. So you can see my program encountered with attribute error. So you should be using this in a proper case. And now I'm going to use it within a double quotes. Same thing, same error, because I have specified a country in small case like this. So the result are same. So in this way you can select a column. Okay, now let us check the type of the value we are getting here. Let's say type. See, I'm getting a series object. Let's get back to our presentation and check out what next. The next is how we can select multiple columns. This is really simple. We have to first of all specify database object name, followed by a bracket, and then followed by the list of columns. Now you can see the bracket is the first bracket is for specifying that we want to select a column, and then nested bracket specify the list. Okay, so it can be any valid list. Let's see this in our IDE. So what I'm going to do is df1 dot let's say I'm going to specify the list of the column. Let's first is country, and the second one is, let's say, GDP. Okay, so now you can see multiple values. If you want to specify some more values, you can specify like this. It's for population. So now you can see I have specified 3 columns. Similarly, you can specify a number of columns. Now let us see what next. As a next example, we are going to see how to get a subset of rows and column using a loc or location. Here we have a syntax: database object name, obviously, dot loc, then we have a bracket, then just like a slicing, you can say start row and end row, followed by comma, start row and column. Here are the some of the example how we can use these syntaxes. Object, obviously DataFrame object, dot loc, then row label, followed by comma, colon. This says all the columns and this says only particular row. Okay, similarly start row and end row and all the columns. Here also all the rows and start to end column. Let us see this in action. Okay, so first of all, df1, I'm going to select only one. Let's say this is IND, India, followed by comma, and then I am going to specify all the columns. Okay, so I should be getting this row. Okay, so let's do this. Sorry, I missed a dot loc here, and now you can see I am getting only 2 columns, that is, so here I am getting only 1 row, that is India. Now to see this, I'm going to print df1. Now you can see DataFrame1, that is the area. Since we are getting a series, so it is a series of a row like this, and labeled with the column name. So here first value whose label is area, I'm getting 3287.26, and similarly continent Asia, country India, GDP, and so on. Okay, so now let's check for Brazil, BRA, and now you can see the data relevant to Brazil is on my screen. Okay, so this is how we can select a particular row and print all the column. Let's say I want to print all the rows, so in place of a row I say all the rows, and in place of a column I specify only one column, let's say country. So now you can see I can get all the countries with rows as a label. So series have labels as row labels and values as the values in the particular column. Okay, so now if I want to print, let's say, a series from country to, let's say, population, or country to Independence Day, so let's say IND underscore day. Okay, so now you can see I'm getting another data frame object, and you can see from country to Independence Day all the columns in a sequence are listed. Okay, similarly we can use some of the row, let's say from India to, let's say, Brazil. Now if you see, we are able to select columns as well as rows. You can mix and match the syntax and use it according to your needs. So now you can not only use as per the labels, you can use as per the indexes as well. So to use it with the help of our index, we use another attribute that is called iloc. Here instead of a row label or column label, we can use simply indexes. Here is the example: DataFrame object name dot iloc attribute, and then you can specify the slices as we have discussed in our NumPy or in list or in series object. So let's see this. So instead of loc, I will be using iloc, and now I'm going to specify the index values. Let's say 0 to, let's say 4, and I'm going to specify only one column, let's say 0 and C. So only one column, which is an area column, and from China to let's say IDN. So now notice one thing, when I was using a location, LOC. Let's do it. Print like this and print df1 dot location, and let's specify chn to, let's say BRA, okay, comma area to, let's say GDP, and same thing for here also. 0 1 2 3 4, I have specified 4, and 0 to 0 1 2 3 I must specify, let's say 3. I should be printing 0 to 3 so that I can see the desired result. Now notice this one. Now when we are using I location, okay, so notice the second example first. In the location, all the rows within the range including the last or end row is listed. BRA is also listed. But when we are talking about iloc, the last row is excluded. And similarly, if you notice this 0 to 3, so 0 to 3 columns are 0 1 2 3. So this end index column is left or excluded, but here GDP is included. So you should be very careful in using iloc and location. So now let us move to the next topic. Now here we are going to see how to select a single element and manipulate it. Okay, so first example says we can specify the DataFrame object followed by the dot and then followed by the column, and then specify the row name oblique row index. So here is the example. Object name obj, dot country is the column name, and ind is the row label. And in the later example, I have used the indexing. So you can use either a name or index. In the second example, you can see DataFrame object, column name in the brackets, and then in the brackets row oblique row index. Now you can see here we can use a column index, but it is not true in case of Python. Python will give you a error. So next, we can also use at attribute in which we can specify the column name as well as the row name. So here you can see column name is first and row name is next. And the third is we can specify ATI. Here we have to specify row index. Notice it is not a column index, it is a row index and then column index. So there is a slight difference between these two methods. Next, we are going to use an index to retrieve the value or assign the value. Here we have specified a DataFrame object followed by .I at. I8 means index at, row index and column index. Now notice the difference between these two methods. Here I have specified a column name first, but here I have specified a row index. And the next is we have to specify row label. Here we are going to specify column index. Here is the example obj.I at 3, 1. So let's see how to use this in IDE. So let's see. So first thing is we are going to print let's say area of India. Okay, so to do this, df dot area of, let's say in bracket IND. Okay, I have to use df1 instead. So now you can see 3287.6. Similarly, instead of this, we can use USA. This will give area of USA. Okay, I think this is clear to you. Now I'm going to use a second way. Now we can print this value with in another way also, like C++ array. TF1, we are going to use, let's say, area, and then followed by the row label. So here we are going to specify column and then row. Okay, now we can do it with the we can get the same result with the help of a row index. Let's say a1 dot I'm going to use a column. It's, let's say, is area, and in bracket I will be specifying specify the index of USA, that's 0, 1 and 2. I'm going to specify 2. Let's see whether we are going to get the same result for all the three statements. Okay, I think this is really simple. Let's say if I want to print a country instead of this, this will clear your doubt further. Okay, so country, copy this one, and here also I specify a country, here also I specify a country. Okay, so one by one executed. Now we are getting US, you are getting US, and we are getting US. So I think this will further clear your doubt. You can use column name followed by row label, or column name followed by row index. And if you use array styles like C++, you can specify the column name and then specify a row label or index value. If you want to specify this, let's say 2, and see same result. So we can either specify or row label or row index. So next, there is another function which can retrieve, which can help you to retrieve a number of rows, which is called, let's say, head, and in the bracket I'm going to specify, let's say, 2. So you can see 2 rows, top 2 rows are returned. If I do not specify it, it will give me 5 rows, which is a default value for this. You can get more rows also, 6. Now you can see Pakistan is also included. You can see 4, you can see 5. See, so head is there, and similarly similar to head we have a tail also. Let's do this, tail, and specify only 1. So last row is what we are getting with this statement. Let's say 3. Now you can see I'm getting last 3 rows. Okay, so this is how we can use head and tail method to retrieve number of rows. Okay, so now let us move to our next topic. So let us try to manipulate any value. Okay, so what I am going to do is, I'm having a df here, and df1 dot column name is, let's say, I'm going to change the population of India now. So column name will be dot population, and here it is 1351. I will change it to let's say 92 is equals to, let's say, 2000. Okay, and then print this data frame. Now you can see my value is changed. Okay, now suppose I want to change values for a complete column. Instead of specifying this value, I can specify 2000 and print this. Now you can see all the values in my population is changed. So this is how we can specify values for all the columns. And if I specify, let's say, multiple values, we are having 5 values, and I'm going to specify these 5 values list. Let's say in the list range, let's say 1000 to, I think we have 6 rows, so it will be 7000 with the distance of 1000, and let's run this. So you can see I can also specify the range, which also modifies all the values. Make sure that when you are specifying the list, you specify all the values. If one value is short, let's say I'm going to use as 6000. Now see, I'm getting a beautiful error message. So make sure that you specify all the values for the rows in a particular column. Okay, and if you do not have any value, you can obviously specify np.nan. Okay, so this is how we can manipulate the values. So I'm going to use to 80 method, 80 attribute, and specify the row label and specify the column list. Okay, so I have specified Nepal and specified the value is equals to 7000. So if I try to print this, okay, I have to use dot here. If I try to print this and then execute this, now you can see one more row is created with all the elements as 7000. I can specify individual values, and let's say for example if I want to specify values for all the columns, let's say 7000 is area or 700 is the area, and then continent is Asia as well, and then I specify the name for the country Nepal, and if I specify the GDP, and that is, let's say it should be, let's say 500, and Independence Day on 1947 dash 08 dash, let's say 15 only. If I specify this as a, let's say string, and then population is, let's say 500, and let's run this program. Now if you see, my values are populated. So in this way you can add a row by simply specifying a new value and specify all the columns. You can have very few columns as well. If you want to specify NaN here, so you can use nap.nan. Now if you run this, I have not imported this np, so to execute this piece of a code I have to use import numpy as np. Now you can see my query is executed and see the result. Here we have a NA. Okay, so this concludes our topic, and let's move forward to question section. So here first question is like this: define the pandas object Python pandas. The second is define DataFrame in pandas. The third is define the different way of a data frame can be created in pandas. And fourth is write a code to create data frame from dictionary of series. And then question number 5 is how you will create an empty data frame in pandas. And sixth is what are the key features of Panda library. These are the questions based on this and previous videos. If you have any confusion, you can go through these videos again, and feel free to write comment if you have any doubts or query. Thank you for watching and hope you have learned something. That's all for today. Goodbye.